Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you all joining our call today. We'll move across to the agenda. Today, over the next 90 minutes, what we'll be covering is the VCF certification journey. We'll cover the role-based framework, and then we'll move into what is required in the system for you to be able to recognize the right content and make sure that your certifications are aligned to you and your organization. We'll go through the available training that will help you with your certification, and then we'll move across into navigating through the learning at Broadcom, which is where we have our courses and also access to register for exams and so forth. We'll move into tips and tricks on how to use the system, and then we'll also do a section on our VDPs, which is our education delivery partners. And then we'll finish off with a few key takeaways and Q&A. Any questions that we are unable to answer over the next 90 minutes, we will capture them and we will provide the answers post-event. Just a reminder before we do start that we do have our third episode of this series next Friday, and in that one we'll be doing a deeper dive into the tips and tricks, as you prepare for your VCP, and that will be led by Ricky. And he'll also give us a bit of a preview of what to expect in that right at the end. So firstly, in a recent IDC report from last year, it showed that 76% of the organizations are looking at moving across to the private cloud environment. What we're seeing in the real world is actually that uptake is happening quicker. So as we sort of accelerate towards moving more and more organizations to the private cloud, one of the things that has come up is that the IT leaders have identified a gap in the IT skills. That gap in that report is at 63%, but we've actually seen some reports where they've got that gap as high as the high 80%. So there is a real demand in the marketplace for cloud-based skills and certification. With Broadcom, what we're looking at doing is making sure that we're investing in our ecosystem. And so there's been a lot of changes from the way that VMware actually did their certification and offerings and what Broadcom do. So with Broadcom, the first thing that we've done is actually removed the one course minimum before you can actually sit the exam to try and accelerate people that are ready for the exam, so that way they can just go and sit it. However, I will preface that by saying that we do recommend that people do training before they do the VCP, VCF exams, because there is such a rich volume of capabilities and technology in the platform that what we're seeing is that people that haven't done any courses beforehand are falling short in the exams. And we'll cover what courses and so forth in the coming slides, but we do really recommend that you do take advantage of it. The other thing is that Broadcom have really opened up, the amount of free training that we actually do offer. So we do offer free digital content to everyone. So if you log into Learning at Broadcom, you will have access to especially the fundamental type of digital content. And then depending on whether you're a VCF customer and your partner leveling, we do also have on-demand training, labs, as well as instructor-led training that is either for free or for fee, depending on if you're a VCF customer and what partner level you are. But again, we'll drill into that a bit more in the coming slides. I do apologize, it's just taken a bit longer to change this. Okay. Okay. Also, what we've done is we've introduced role-based learning. So the goal of role-based learning is to simplify how you can identify the training that you need to lead to the certification that you're trying to achieve. The first thing that we've done is we've identified 5 key roles that all our content and certification is based on. You've got the sales, you've got pre-sales or engineering, you've got architect, implement or administration, and support. The three technical roles are the architect, the implement, and the support, and the sales and pre-sales is more of the soft skills as well as some technical training. But the real deep technical training is based on those bottom three. And then it's actually divided up into three different stages. You've got stage 1, 2, and 3. As we move into the next slide, you can actually see that stage 2 is what we term as the platform stage. So stage 1 is where it's the fundamental training. It's whether you're new into the industry and you'd like to understand what cloud is, or you're new into cloud environment. You go to stage 1, and that's where you can obtain the fundamental type of content training. Stage 2 is where we start drilling down into either VCF or VVF platform, and that is tied to the VCP certification. VCP certification is no longer on the networking area storage type of technology. It's VCP is purely stage 2, and it's purely on the platform as a whole. Stage 3 is where you start drilling further into the platform and you start getting specialization. So this is where we start offering, the networking specialization. We start storage, automation, operations, and so forth. And in the coming slides, we'll show you a couple of that are coming up. But the other thing that we do offer is we do offer a lot of different content. So we've got the instructor-led training. We've got a lot of blogs and so forth that are actually targeting it. We've got a lot of just-in-time webinars that we do for both customers and partners to help skill up our ecosystem and make it more than just instructor-led training. So we do try and complement the training that we do offer in classrooms with the training that's available outside. As I mentioned, so stage 1 is the fundamentals, and you can see here some of the courses, and we will drill down a bit further in the coming slides. But stage 2 is where we focus. For the architect, stage 2 focuses on the design component of VCF. For the implement, it focuses on the build, manage, and secure, as well as the automation and operations. Whereas for support, stage 2 is all about troubleshooting. With stage 3, they're all the same regardless of the role, and this is where we do a deeper dive into things like the automation. You can actually see the 6 here that have been identified, and they'll be rolled out in the coming quarter into early 2026. And there are a couple more that have been slated to be added, such as cybersecurity, as well as potentially role-based ones like architect. In this slide, we just want to show how it's tied with the courses and exams. As I mentioned previously, with the architect, we only offer architect at the VCP level for VCF. So there's no VVF exam or course for the architect. For the implement and support, we do offer it. And as you can see there, especially on the implement, there is 2 courses that we recommend for the VCF for the the VCP, and that's the build, manage, and secure, as well as the automation and operation. And for the troubleshoot, we do offer the troubleshooting one for the support accreditation. And the good news is we have actually released all the VCP certifications. The beautiful thing that we were able to do with the release of the version 9 is that we're able to release the certification, at the VCP level 2 months post GA, which is something we haven't been able to do in the past. So I think the release date on the product was in June, and the certification was actually released at Explore in Vegas in August. Since then, we've actually released 2 VCAPs, with the rest of the VCAPs to be coming on board over the coming months. The 2 VCAPs that we released are the automation and the operation. And with the automation, it's based on the advanced system concepts, governance and policies, as well as orchestration workflow. Whereas the operation one is focused on configuring dashboards, optimizing policies, and performing analysis to ensure a smooth and reliable cloud yeah, system. As you can see, this is where we actually drill down into the actual technologies that sit on the platform. So at the VCP level, you're looking at the platform as a whole. So you look at the whole breadth of products. At the VCAP is where you actually start drilling down into the bits and bytes of the actual technology and understanding that. And again, with these two, we actually released the exams. They were released last week, and the courses are actually being released as we speak. So I think there's two or three of them on Learning at Broadcom at the moment, with the remainder being released over the coming weeks. Last week, we also announced the evolution of the VCDX. Now, this is something that's been asked for over the last couple of years since we moved across to Broadcom. We've had people sort of saying, "Please, we want to keep the VCDX," and I'm proud to say that we are keeping it. We have retitled it. It's now known as the VMware Certified Distinguished Expert. But the concept is still the same. So yeah, it is targeted at a deeper dive, and it is recognized as a top level certification you can achieve within the VMware certification range. Two key differences is one of them is it's actually aligned to roles. So in the past it was aligned to technology. Now it's actually aligned to the roles and to technology. And then the other thing is it is going to give you benefits such as early access to the product lifecycle as well as releases. Plus, you'll also be invited to things like P tabs and C tabs and events, because we will be looking for feedback from our VCDXs to see how we can, improve our product set. And how do you get to a VCDX? Just bear with me a moment. I do apologize. It's taken a bit longer to change slides. So to get to a VCDX, you need to follow a similar path as you do with the VCAP. You need to start off at the platform level and get your VCP in one of the roles, whether it's architect, implement, or support. Then you need to get 3 VCAPs, with one of them being mandatory one is the VKS. So you must get the VKS plus 2 more VCAPs. Then you move into being a VCAP by role. So once you've got for example, once you've got your VCP, VCF architect, and then you get your VKS and say storage and networking VCAPs, you become a VCAP VCF architect. Once that's been done, then we assign a mentor to you, and part of the process, and I do apologize, part of the process then is with that mentor, you would need to do a hands-on component and then be able to defend it. Similar to what it was in the past, but not as in-depth. So for an architect, what they'll need to do is do a simulation of a design. And once they've done that, they will need to be able to defend the design against any questions that have been posed by the mentor on why they chose it. Similarly, with the implementer, the administrator one, they will need to use the lab to build a environment and then explain why they built it that way and answer any questions that they might have on it. And then with the troubleshoot, they'll actually be asked to troubleshoot certain issues using the labs and then explain why they chose that path to remedy it and so forth. So again, it's VCP at the platform level, 3 VCAPs with VKS being one of them, and then you get assigned a mentor, and the mentor will take you through the lab exercises and the defense on those labs, and that will take you to a VCDX. For the partners that have tuned in, I just want to tie the VMware certification to the partner certification. So for the people that have been around for the last 2 years, as you know, once you achieve your VCP, And if you have your profile set up as a partner profile, and you are one of the approved partners, the VCP and the VCAP will automatically be converted into a proven professional certification. What a proven professional certification is it's a certification that says that you do have the knowledge and you have passed the exam to prove you have the knowledge on our technology. After you get the proven professional, then you can move to a certified expert. And the thing I love about the Broadcom partner certification is the certified expert is where you're able to demonstrate in the real world that you've applied the knowledge you've achieved. So proven professional is I've got the knowledge and I understand the products. Certified expert is I've taken that knowledge into the real world and have been able to demonstrate that in the real world. So as an example, for someone that has done the implement VCP and has done, for example, the network VCAP once it's released, then they will need to give 2 examples of a deployment where they've deployed VCF and networking, and be able to document that they've done that. That documentation can be in the form of a reference from the customer. It could be in the form of a signed document that's left with the customer that you might have taken a copy, where it actually includes your name and says, yeah, the work that was actually done. So to recap, once you've achieved your VCP or VCAP, you get a proven professional. Once you get a proven professional certification, then you need to be able to demonstrate that you've actually put that into practice. For the architect, it's 2 designs that they've done in the real world. For the implement, it's 2 deployments, and for the support, I think it's up to 10 cases that they've actually addressed using that technology. Sticking with the partner theme, there is another level above the certified expert, and this is by invitation only. And again, this is only eligible for the partners. So once you've achieved your certified expert, then you could qualify for it. It's a 1-year membership. You need to be invited to it, and you must be a partner employee to even be considered. The benefits of being a knight is that you get access to content that's not available to anyone else, regardless of their certification levels. You sign a non-disclosure agreement, which means that you get access to roadmaps and so forth. As we do within Broadcom, you'll get the same visibility to what's coming up. And you also join a community of knights across the world, and they have things like events. We had one recently in Prague where it was only the knights, where they did a deeper dive into the different technologies. They have regular calls, where they share stories, have things that they raise that they want to get addressed and share it amongst each other. So it's a real community feel at the highest level. The thing with the Knights is it's as much about the breadth of the products as it is the depth of the products. So to become a Knight, you need to have a proven professional and a certified expert in VCF in sales. And that's important because you are going to be the champion for Broadcom in that partner community, and will be the person that will be helping to drive the adoption of the different components of VCF in the customer base. So you need to be able to understand how to position the VCF products, and that's why that sales component's there. You also need to have a proven professional and a certified expert level certification in the platform of VCF at one of the 3 technical roles, and at least one of the specialist roles. You need to be a proven professional and certified expert, whether it's storage, networking, automation, or operation. Once you've got that, then we have a discussion with the partner principal and the PBM and make sure that you have got the right profiles that they're looking for a night. And then you're assigned a sponsor, and that sponsor will work with you to build out your lab environment Similar to the VCDX, in that lab, you will need to build a lab out to use cases which have been identified and be able to demonstrate that you can build or design, depending on which role you're going for, and be able to explain why you've done it. And then once you've passed that, then you become a knight. Again, the night is only for 1 year, and you really do need to make sure that you do remain current with the certifications, because the nights are regarded as the best of the best within our partner community. It's a big benefit for the individuals because it is recognised amongst all our partners as well as the customers, and we're actually seeing a few more of the requests from customers asking for the nights to be engaged in their accounts when they are looking for consulting services. And I just want to finish up on an offer that we've got at the moment with the VMUG community. The VMUG community is an independent community, although it's based on the VMware technology stack. It is independently run. I really do recommend people join it because it's like-minded people discussing, what's happening, sharing ideas, getting any issues that they've got, getting different opinions on how to resolve things or how to grow. So the VMUG community is something that I really do promote. And what we've been able to do is offer people that are just a member of the VMUG community. If you're just a member and you're certified, you get a vSphere Standard Edition 32 core license for 1 year. If you're an Advantage member and you're certified, you get the vSphere Standard Edition 128 cores for 3 years. You also get 128 cores of VMware Firewall with ATP and 12 service units of VMware AV load balance. So there's a real value of joining the VMUG as well as being certified, that you get back to yourself as an individual, and you can use that for your own purposes. With that, I'll pass it across to Michelle. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jay. Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. My section of this presentation, I'm hoping to assist you to demystify what is available from a training perspective, what we offer to our partners and to our customers, and how you go about finding it on Learning at Broadcom or the partner portal. There were quite a few questions in the first session about this, so I'm hoping that this will answer some of those out there. The very first and most important thing is that you have set up your Broadcom user ID. There are quite a few steps to go through, and if you go through all of them in order and complete them all, you will have no issues. I am detailing them all here, and you will receive access both to the recording and a copy of the presentation, so you'll be able to follow along yourself. But the important thing to note here is that when setting up your Broadcom user ID, you must use your corporate email address. Previously, prior to the acquisition by Broadcom, VMware users were allowed to use personal emails. If you don't use your corporate email when setting up your user ID, you won't have access to the entitlements based on your email domain. So you may be a Broadcom partner, and certain levels of Broadcom partner receive different training entitlements. If you're a VCF customer, your email domain will be recognized and you'll receive entitlements because of that, and you'll have access to more content. So please use your corporate email address when setting up your ID. If you are a customer rather than a partner, you will finish at step 5, which is the basic user account. If you are a partner user, however, don't stop when you see registered successfully. You have to go on and upgrade to partner user access, again, so that you can access all of the entitlements relevant to your partner level. And then the last thing that everybody should do is to set up their CertMetrics account again with their corporate email so that it is linked to your learning account. So any certifications you then do, either, they may be assessments that you're doing on the Learning at Broadcom broadcom portal or they are external exams. They will all be recorded against your profile. If you are a partner user, that's really important to your partner organization, because the capability points that are attached to that will filter through because of your user ID. But even as a customer, it's important that you keep a record of your certifications for your organization. The other thing that we know quite a lot of users have issues with is that they have multiple accounts. So they may have had a number of VMware accounts because they'd moved between different organizations, and they may have had a corporate email account as well as a personal one. We can assist you with merging those accounts. Before you reach out to that email that is on the screen, please set up your Broadcom user ID first. We can't merge anything until you have your Broadcom user ID set up. So you may end up with 2 or 3 accounts that need to be merged under the new one, but you must do that first or we can't assist you. Once you have set up your Broadcom partner user ID, you'll then be able to access the various portals, so the partner portal or the customer portal, the support portal, and learning at Broadcom. What is displayed to you varies based on your access. But what we are talking about today is helping you understand the path to becoming a VMware certified professional. Jay spoke about the differences. So previously, the VCP level was very much about the component technology. So we understand that most VMware professionals have a vSphere certification of some version. It's now different, and the VCP is absolutely connected to the platform. So any VCP moving forward will be about VCF or VVF. So what we have here is we've just extrapolated one of the slides that Jay shared earlier just to talk about the required knowledge, because another change that was made recently was that you no longer are required to do a training course before attempting an exam and receiving the certification. If you have enough knowledge and skills to pass the exam, you will be granted the certification. However, we do understand, having done the Explore events and the Explore on Tour events, that people who attempted the VCF 9 VCP exam, the admin exam, didn't pass if they didn't have the required knowledge of more than just vSphere. So the feedback that we got from people was that they really needed to understand more about vSAN, NSX, the operations, the Kubernetes piece. So it's important that you understand that the platform knowledge in order to pass the exam is more than just having a really deep knowledge of vSphere. So what we recommend from a training perspective for the VCP VCF 9 admin exam, and the exam is here. I know that that was a question that a few people had in the chat. And it is a 60-item exam. The passing score is 300, and you get 135 minutes to attempt the exam, and that is true for both the exams that we have here today. But for the admin exam, we're recommending these 2 courses. So VMware Cloud Foundation Build, Manage and Secure, and VMware Cloud Foundation Automate and Operate. If you were to attend those as instructor-led or virtual instructor-led courses, that would be 10 days worth of training. They are both available as on-demand courses. Access, again, is dependent on your level of user ID, but they are available as on-demand courses and instructor-led courses, and they contain all of the prerequisite knowledge in order to pass that exam. In order to attend the courses, there's always a prerequisite, and it really is a working experience and knowledge of vSphere, NSX, and vSAN as a minimum. If you don't have that working experience, we'll speak about it in a moment, but we do have other introductory type learning materials that are available to everyone, regardless of your customer or partner tiering. For the VCF 9 architect exam, what we're recommending from a training perspective is VMware Cloud Foundation Solution Architecture and Design. Again, if you're taking this course as an instructor-led course, it is a 5-day course, but again is available on demand and you can approach it in a self-paced fashion. The course prerequisites are again a working knowledge of those 3 underlying technologies, vSphere, NSX, and vSAN. But the required knowledge to pass the course is less, naturally enough, less about the building, the managing, and the operating, and more about the designing of the solution. Again, the number of questions and the passing score and the time is similar. So now with that, having covered that, what I'd like to do now is to take you through a demo of the accessing all of the materials that we have available to you on the platform. So bear with me for a moment, and I'm just going to flip over to this screen. Okay, so the first thing I'm just going to cover quickly is for partners. If you are a user from a partner and you have set your partner user ID up correctly, you will be able to log in directly to the partner portal and you'll be able to go to the enablement section. If you scroll down on this page to the VCF page, what you are given is curated content in those roles that Jay spoke about. So he mentioned that the sales and pre-sales roles were only available to our partners. The other roles are available to everybody, but on the partner portal, the partner team have curated the content for you, so it's easy for you to access everything that's available. So if you were to click on that link, it would take you to this page. When it logs, looks like it's going to ask me to log in again. Sorry, I have been logged out for a minute. So this is how everybody would be logging in to the support portal or the partner portal anyway, using their Broadcom user ID. And if you are a partner user, you will see the playlist. I'm going to give you a little tip to make it a little bit easier to read. If you click that button there, it provides it in more of a list format, which makes it easier to see what there is. So there are a number of things that are specific to partners, and you can see here that these are some of the stage 1 or that introductory type learning that is available to everyone, customers and partners. Customers will see it. It will look differently on your site. However, the 2 courses that we were recommending as the sort of prerequisite knowledge in order to pass the exam are here. So that build, manage and secure, and the automate and operate. So if you are a partner user, that's how you will access all of those materials. You'll click through and you'll either see the on-demand content, or depending on your partner level, you will be able to register for a virtual instructor-led course. I will show you that in more detail. I just wanted to cover off for the customer users how you will go about accessing any training materials. So you will log into the Broadcom support portal and you will scroll down to the education portal. And again, it might ask me to sign in here. Okay, so it's remembered that I'm signed in, so that's great. And this is what you will see. So again, VCF customers will be entitled to access to on-demand courses and some of the virtual instructor-led courses as well. However, everybody is able to see the e-library, which is content that is more introductory in nature. So if you don't have the prerequisite experience to attend an instructor-led course, for example, this is a really great place to come and get it. So there's some core technical skills. We've got some language choices there, and you can see all of the drop downs. So you can get some of that prerequisite information that you might need in order to then register on one of those courses. If you are a VCF customer, you will be able to see these roles again. So at the moment, I'm still logged in as a partner user. So if you're a customer, you won't see those. But here is where you can go directly to the on-demand courses. There were a few questions in the chat about that, or register on the instructor-led course. So that will bring up a calendar where you can see all of the courses in all the time zones. You can filter the time zones. So obviously, if you are in this region, you're not necessarily looking for a course in Europe or North America, so you can filter it and choose something that's relevant, a course that you would like to register on, and in a time zone that's suitable to you. I will note that obviously it's a relatively new product release. The courses are quite full and you may need to put yourself on a waiting list, but that is available to our Pinnacle and Premier partners and also our VCF customers. The other thing I wanted to take you through was just to show you what's actually contained inside of those courses that we're recommending as prerequisite knowledge for the VCP exam. Oh, something's gone awry. One moment. Okay. So this is the Build, Manage and Secure course. And you can see here that this is the on-demand course. So if you're registering, if you have access to and are registering for the on-demand course, you would just request it here at this red bar on the right-hand side, and then you would open it up. I'm not going to go through all of that. We don't have time today, but you can see here the different modules. So because this is an on-demand course, it enables you to self-serve, so you can work through it in order. You can, however, jump between the modules, and you can also gap fill your knowledge. So if you are aware that you know quite a lot about networking, for example, but where your knowledge has gaps is the storage piece, you can obviously just work on that particular module and no need to go through everything again, because there is no requirement to do training prior to attempting the exam and receiving the certification. However, we do know that there are quite a lot of people out there who need to supplement their knowledge beyond vSphere to some of the other components. So that's the first of the courses that we're recommending. The second is the Automate and Operate, and the same applies here. You can see all of the content, and here we've got obviously more of an operation heavy list, and how to automate the functionality of VCF and the automation that's available. And then the last one was the solution architecture and design. The other thing that's important to note is none of the on-demand courses have live labs. They are recorded labs where somebody is taking you through the lab, but you are not able to engage yourself with that. If you wish to have a live lab, you either need to register on the virtual instructor-led course or a physical instructor-led course, or there is an option to purchase an enterprise learning subscription. So with that, I'll go back to the slide deck. I feel like we've gone back a few slides. Apologies, we'll quickly go through that. And we're back to here. So the other training resources, well, all of the training resources that are available to you as a Broadcom user. So we spoke about the on-demand training, and I've just highlighted here, that is available under entitlement for partners at the Pinnacle and Premier level and to VCF customers. It's self-paced. They align to the instructor-led courses. They have recorded labs, not live labs. The virtual instructor-led training is available again under that same entitlement to that same tier of partners and customer, and it is live training, but obviously virtually, but you will have the opportunity to engage directly with an instructor and engage with live labs. And these courses obviously meet certification requirements, as do the on-demand training. The digital learning are e-learning introductory short courses, videos, product insights, upgrade pathways. When I speak about upgrade pathways, I mean about the technology, not about certifications. They don't map to certification requirements, and they are available to all partners and all customers, but they do talk to those prerequisites in order to do some of those courses. So if you don't have a working knowledge of some of those technologies, that's a really great place to start. If you're looking for on-demand training, but with live labs, enterprise learning subscriptions are available. It is a paid-for service, and it provides all of the content that's available to those partner tiers and VCF customers, but it also does come with the live labs as well. Instructor-led training is a paid-for service, and my colleague Azam is going to take you through how to access that. And then the last training that we wanted to talk about are webinars like this. So we do run a regular schedule of webinars available to all partners and customers. Some are specific to partners and some are specific to customers, and some are more of a hybrid offering where we provide product and program updates. Obviously, usually delivered by specialists. Next week's a really great one. My colleague Ricky will be able to take you through some exam prep for some of these certifications. So that is everything that I had to cover, and the presentation is jumping around like crazy. But that's the end of my presentation, and I'm going to stop sharing and hand over to my colleague Azam.
Thanks very much, Michelle. Thank you. Just bear with me a second. All right, great. Thank you very much, Michelle, for taking us through to the Learning at Broadcom portal, which is really helpful for all of our customers and partners who are really eager to start their journey on the VCF 9 certification and examination. Today, I will be walking you through a very interesting piece, an interesting part of our overall ecosystem, which is the VMware Education Delivery Partners across APJ. And this is something which in the overall ecosystem provide the best of the breed training in terms of making sure that you are understanding all of the VCF 9 certifications, going through those training courses, and making sure you select the right path in terms of your journey towards the VCF 9 certifications. Now, moving on towards how and what kind of exclusivity these education delivery partners bring to our customers and the overall ecosystem. We used to call them the learning partners, the authorized training center, but under the new Broadcom umbrella. These are rebranded as the VMware Education Delivery Partners. And the first and the foremost, the very important differentiator, what I would say, is their ability to deliver all of those VCF 9 trainings in the local language. So we all understand APJ being a very diversified sort of a region. We have a lot of countries, non-English speaking countries like Korea, like Japan and others, where there is a big need in terms of the local content of the course, plus the instructor delivery in the local language. So here is the important things in terms of understanding that these education delivery partners provide those local content, the context in terms of delivering of that courses around the VCF 9. All the tracks are available in terms of implement, in terms of architect, and in terms of support. Now, the other aspect is the offer of the flexible learning. So most of the time we understand that our customers and our partners, they're all busy in delivering key projects and achieving the key milestone within the deploying of their infrastructure or the solutions. So a lot of time it happens that we do not have the flexibility available to train those resources. So these education delivery partners help you customize your flexibility in terms of delivering the trainings. They can run the classes on the weekends. They can do different modes in terms of delivery. For example, they can do face-to-face engagement with the customers and partners to deliver the VCF9 courses. They can do the virtual instructor-led trainings, and they can also help you understand, deep dive into the overall course content, and getting and help you preparing towards the VCP certifications. Now, moving on towards the next thing is around the customization of the course content itself. So a lot of time it happens that a 5-day course clubbing together different pieces of the courses, like for example the build, manage, and secure course, or the automate and operate course, understanding what are the key and major content which will help you drive your certification and achieve you pass the examinations. So this is something which really helpful in terms of customizing the course content and making sure they build up around all of those best practices which they have, in order to give you a perspective not only on the content but on the hands-on lab as well, and bringing in the real world scenarios in their tailored course content, and making sure you understand the overall VCF contents around compute, storage, and network. And then they also run different certification bootcamp. This is primarily focuses around the certification track. So if you are preparing yourself for your next journey in terms of a VCP VVF certification or a VCP VCF certification, they have a pre-designed sort of a boot camp which will help you understand all of the course contents, understand what you can do different in terms of passing the examination. And these are very exclusive sort of a boot camp directly designed for a specific need for customers and partners. Now, moving on towards and cover the piece of who, what, why. The education delivery partners, they are the only authorized training partners we have in the APJ region. So we have roughly about 25 or plus education delivery partners who are authorized to deliver all the VCF9 trainings and other VMware trainings in the region. These are the certified pool of global community in terms of bringing in the best practices, in terms of helping to make sure that our customers and the partner understand the overall learning paths they want to adopt in terms of implement, architecting, and support, and making sure they get to the real certification which they would like to achieve. Apart from that, the very important aspect is that the instructor are heavily being gone through the instructor certified workshop, which is directly run by VMware by Broadcom. And they have gone through those training in order to make sure that they are bringing the best and the best sort of instructor post this workshop, and then they deliver these training to our customers and partners. In terms of what they do, end-to-end portfolio of VMware by Broadcom is specializing on the computer storage and network side, making sure all of the latest 4 or 5 courses which we have launched in terms of all the 3 different roles around architecting, implement, and support. They cover all of those contents, flexible learning, as mentioned earlier. And then, of course, they understand what's the latest going on under the Broadcom umbrella in terms of the content, the course content, in terms of the curriculum, in terms of the best practices which we follow in order to deploy your infrastructure. And then covering on to the why piece, again, the global reach, they have resources around different sort of region, different countries they operate, right? And the best thing is that they not only enable customers and partners, but they also are very flexible in terms of building the capabilities. As Jay mentioned, earlier in the webinar, that there's still, the biggest challenge for the CIO, which is, 63% globally, is, the skill set shortage challenge, right? So these are the education delivery partner who can help you accelerate on your journey with VCF 9, build up those best practices, making sure that you are ready with the content, with the delivery, and then making sure that you have the right skill set to help your organization achieve the next level within the VCF deployments. Now, moving on towards how you can find VEDP DAU. So we have our authorized learning partner listed on our Broadcom portal. So once you go to the portal, you will find this education delivery partner landing page. I'll go to the live website in a minute. I just wanted to give you a perspective in terms of how you can reach out to them. Then, once you go there, you scroll down a bit, then you will find browse partners. So of course, if we are doing Asia Pacific now, so if you click here, then you can find the entire list of all of those authorized education delivery partners. So let's go and take a live look of the site. So this is the Broadcom Support Education VMware Learning Partners. You can see the URL link here. We do a scroll down, get to what was the education delivery partner is all about, then moving towards the Asia Pacific region. And then here's the complete list of your entire education delivery partner. So they have their sales generic email addresses, which is live and correct. But still, if you are unable to reach out to any of these partners for your training requirements, then you can reach back to either Michelle or me, and we will be happy to connect you with your relevant education delivery partners, which can help you prepare and design your trainings needs accordingly. All right, so moving on, I'll just quickly give you a quick, key takeaways, summarizing the webinar in terms of, what we have done, what we have covered. So of course, first thing first, ensuring your Broadcom accounts IDs are properly and correctly set up. You've already seen the demo by Michelle. Just make sure that you have your corporate ID, organization corporate ID, which can be used to build up your Broadcom accounts. Evangelize your role-based frameworks. Again, the newly launched framework around implement, architect, and support. You need to make sure that you understand your role within the partner organization or within the customer organization, and take step by step that journey. If it's an implement role, what kind of courses you need to go through in order to achieve your certain VCP certifications around implement, architect, and support. Then start consuming all of those content which is available free for customers and partners. Choose the relevant certification tracks around VCP VCF administrator, the VCP VCF architect, or the VCP VCF support. And then of course, once you are done with your first level of certification, which is the certified professional, then you can always go ahead and elevate your professional career in terms of upgrading to the advanced and expert level, which we have mentioned earlier regarding the VCAP, which is the certified advanced professionals, and then at the expert level, which is the certified distinguished expert level. So this is a quick call out in terms of what you can do, a key takeaway and a summary of the overall webinar. With this, I will pass it to my colleague Ricky to help you understand what we will be covering on 5th of December, another on the next webinar, which we have scheduled for next week. Ricky, over to you, please.
Right. Thank you, Azam. So next week, we will be having the exam prep overview. So we will be talking about the 3 exams that we have. We will be focusing on the VCP for VVF or VMware vSphere Foundation Administrator. And then we will be talking about the VCP for VMware Cloud Foundation administrator, as well as VMware Cloud Foundation architect. So these will be discussed in next week's session. So the agenda for which is that we will do an exam overview. So what is the exam all about? What are the exam codes? How are you going to register for the exam and such? We will also be talking about the blueprints. So what sections do you need to focus on, as well as what are the study materials, the trainings that you can take. And lastly, we will be talking about the resources. So I'll be pointing out some hands-on labs, training materials, right? And then further on, we will be talking about some of the sample questions. So these sample questions will be will be shown to you, and then we will be talking about maybe we will be discussing the question, and then we will be tying into the blueprint that we have. And then lastly, for our agenda, we will be talking about some tips on taking the exams, as well as some insights and the study, how long you need to study for an exam. Okay, so I hope to see you next week for our session. So please join us. If you haven't registered for the next session, please register. We will be talking about the exam prep session, so you will be confident when you are going to take the exam. All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you to all the speakers.
Could I please just share my screen for one more minute? I think there are a few questions from people about actually searching for content. Would that be okay if I just quickly take
Sure,
people
sure,
through
Michelle.
that?
We do have some time, and that will be very helpful.
Thank
Just
you.
while you're bringing that up, Michelle, just one thing I just want to raise, and there've been a couple of questions while you're bringing that up. The certifications, the term of the certifications under Broadcom are 2 years. So we are the life of the certifications at each level is 2 years. However, if you were a partner employee, for the partner certifications, so the proven professional certifications, once the new version's been released, so when we move from 5.2 to 9, when the 9 exam is released, for the sales and pre-sales, you're expected to take the new exam within 60 days. And for the technical VCPs, the implement, the architect, and the support, it's 120 days post the release of the exam. So the VCP exams, although they're valid for 2 years, as a partner employee under the proven professionals, you are expected to take the new version, the new major version, like from 5.2 to 9, 60 and 120 days post the release of the exam. Thank you. Michelle, over to you.
Thanks, Jay. So once you have set your Broadcom user ID up correctly, so either as a partner or a customer, and you navigate to Learning at Broadcom, this search bar is where you look for everything. So if you were to type in VMware Cloud Foundation, automate and operate, you can see what comes up here is the course. Click on it. And this is the virtual instructor-led course, which you will only see if you are entitled to do so. So if you are a user belonging to a VCF customer or a Broadcom Pinnacle or Premier partner. Okay, so that's the best way to find what you're looking for. Obviously, you can navigate through these, but this search bar is your absolute friend when looking for training materials. If you don't see it, it's because your access doesn't allow for that. Thank you.
Well, so there's one question, Michelle, I don't know who want to answer it, but some people have, they're not able to access the portal. It says permission denied after login to Broadcom portal. I assume it is from their IT side that they need to check.
Yeah, so I can't, is the question in the
It's in the chat from Bala Subramaniam. He's saying, I'm
in the
getting
chat?
permission
Okay.
denied after login to Broadcom portal.
So I'm more than happy for you to reach out to me, but that email address that I put in the presentation, or if you have access to the Broadcom support portal, please raise a ticket there. It's generally because your profile needs to be upgraded. So if you work for a partner organization, you perhaps have stopped at that basic user, and so you're trying to access something that you're not entitled to according to your user, and you may just need to upgrade your ID, or in fact, you aren't entitled to because you aren't a VCF customer or a partner. There's a question in the chat just how you confirm if your partner ID is configured. If you can access those sites and the training sites, then you already have the right access.